So you're dating an ADHDer, and maybe this is your first time ever, or maybe it's the first time you've cared enough to try to learn more about them. Well, either way, you're in the right place. My name is Haley Honeyman, and I am an autistic ADHDer, and I might just be your partner's favorite creator. And if not, maybe soon. I don't know. And today we are going to be talking about 3 tips that you can implement with your partner to better support yourself and your ADHD partner. Think of this like a 10-minute crash course to understanding your partner and learning a little bit more about how to show up for them. Now, it is super cliche of me to say communication is key, but here's the caveat. Communication is key, but not always when emotions are involved. Has your partner ever had a reaction to a situation or a conflict that felt so large and so overblown that you as a partner were like, what the f*** is going on? I know that my partner has felt that way because this girl's got big emotions and big emotional dysregulation. So what is emotional dysregulation? Emotional dysregulation is the difficulty in managing the intensity and duration of one's own emotions, leading to reactions that may seem disproportionate to the situation. And all that this means is that in situations where our emotions become quite heightened, we're not always the best at creating solutions or using logic to get ourselves out of it. And while you might be trying your absolute hardest to problem solve in this situation, we might not be able to receive that problem solving because we are emotionally dysregulated. And while it would be super convenient for us to be able to problem solve alongside you, it's just not how our brains are wired. And you might even see your partner trying so desperately to problem solve, but it's coming out the wrong way. It's actually heightening the situation. The conflict's getting worse and worse, but they're trying really hard and you're trying really hard, and it's just not working. It's escalating and escalating. This is super common. So for this first tip is as hard as it can be, when your partner becomes hyper emotional or they're clearly emotionally dysregulated, is try your best not to take this as a sign as this being against you. They're not doing this on purpose. It's not their choice. It's happening to them. But what can you do about it? And what can they do about it to get yourselves out of that situation? Now, a quick ADHD tangent, because I feel like so many of us have tried to learn a new language at some point in our lives, but the AI-led platforms and apps are so inhuman and inflexible that a lot of us just give up. And that is why I'm excited that this week's video is sponsored by Lingoda. Lingoda is an online language school with live and interactive lessons from certified native level teachers. And I know for me, language apps with AI are just not personal enough for me to grasp literally anything. And so being able to sit in on a class with other people with a human teacher really allows me to soak in all of the information. Lingoda's small groups allow for personal feedback, and with flexible scheduling, they are available 24/7 to help you. And booking is as easy as a few clicks, so your interest in learning won't be whisked away with complicated steps. I have found that the platform is super user-friendly and easy to navigate, and I know that classes can maybe be intimidating, but they actually have videos before you even enter a class to set your expectations, which is so neurodivergent friendly. I actually took French for almost my entire schooling career and never have had to use it, and so it's really rusty, and Lingoda is a great opportunity for me to relearn a lot of what I've lost. Right now with the Black Friday sales, you can get up to $56 off the Sprint program, plus the possibility to get cash back. This is their best deal of the year, and I feel like learning a new language is a pretty good investment of time and money. So thank you, Lingoda, for sponsoring this video, and let's get back to our tips. So that brings us to tip number 2, taking a breather, but be reasonable. Here's how to effectively take a pause when emotions become dysregulated. I know for myself, taking a pause when I'm really hyper emotional was one of the hardest things to implement into my routine and into my communication style, because I so desperately want this conflict to be done. I want it to be dealt with, but my brain is not allowing me to see the situation clearly. But when I do take that pause, I am able to start regulating actively. I have to do things to make that happen. But when I'm able to start regulating and bring myself down, I can start to see a little bit more clearly and go, you know what? I'm actually feeling this, and I'm feeling this because of that. And what is the solution? Oh, it would be this. And I wouldn't have been able to see that had I not regulated. So how do we take a pause and be reasonable about it? And it's also often the case that ADHDers, especially women, can be anxiously attached people, meaning they want to find the solution as fast as possible. And I have noticed in my time as an ADHD coach that so frequently these women are also with people who are avoidant attachment, which means you want to take the pause. You want to walk away, but you want to walk away like forever from the conflict and you never want to come back to it. Whereas we're like, I need to fix this. I need to solve this. So we need to take a pause in a way that is effective for everyone, not just an avoidant attachment style. So step 1 is creating a pause rule with very clear rules and expectations. And these rules and expectations must be created outside of conflict. This is a conversation to have when both of you are regulated, you're both feeling good, and it's a preventative conversation. Because when you're trying to do this when you're already heightened, that makes it so difficult. One thing that I found so helpful is setting a time limit to your pause, or making it at least a very clear expectation of when you're going to talk about it again. So for example, you're fighting about something or having a conflict about something, and you say, look, I think we need to initiate our pause. Can we come back to this in 1 hour? Great. Go away, spend time apart from one another, do the things you both need to do as individuals to regulate and come back to it. Sometimes it requires a bigger pause, but again, still set that time limit. Hey, I actually can't have this conversation because I have to go to work. I want to talk to you about this. Can this be the thing that we talk about first thing when I get home? Setting clear expectations gives us a lot of relief that I know that we're gonna have a space to talk about it. During this time, it's also a big deal to set your goal outcome for the conversation. This can't always happen. Sometimes I'm in an emotional state where I'm way too heightened to really be thinking even logically about this, but I find it's very helpful, especially for long pauses, saying something along the lines of, okay, we're gonna talk about this when you get home from work, and my goal is that I wanna feel understood. I don't feel understood right now, and that's my goal. You can have separate goals, but agree to them together. And I will say, this pause is extremely uncomfortable if you've never practiced it. Your nervous system is gonna be like, hey, I don't like this. And it's going to be hard at first. Over time, you're gonna get more used to it, and you're gonna start seeing this data that you are collecting that it's safe for you to take pauses, regulate, and then find solutions. And I will tell you now, this rule will be forgotten. You might have this thought in your head, or your partner might have this thought of, I'm 1 sentence away from fixing this conflict. I know for myself, that's often how I feel. I just need to say the right thing right now, and then they'll understand and this conflict will be done. That is frequently not the case. And so when you do have a situation where you don't take a pause, come back later after the conflict is resolved, however long that takes, and reflect on why that was harder or took longer, and maybe recognize, hey, if we had done the pause, this might have really helped us in this situation. And so just giving yourself a space to kind of process that so that the next time it comes up, you might think again, maybe we need to do the pause. Now it is time for our final tip of the video. You're doing a great job, just one more, okay? Our priorities might be unpredictable. So here's how you can make flexibility your friend. You might notice that your partner's priorities seem completely out of nowhere, and really where that might be coming from is our desperate desire to get dopamine into our lives. ADHDers do not produce enough dopamine, which means that we are constantly seeking it. And sometimes that means, this task is not giving me dopamine, I'm gonna switch. This isn't giving me dopamine, I need to switch. And you can see us kind of jumping around from thing to thing. And for somebody that doesn't experience that, that can be kind of frustrating. And if you are a person that hates spontaneity or last minute changes of plans, this is still a possible dynamic, but it will require a lot of communication. And the type of communication it might require is setting very clear expectations as to what matters to you versus what doesn't. For example, let's say that you come to me and say, hey, I want you to come meet my friends this weekend. This is a 10 out of 10, super important to me. What can we do to make sure that this happens? Setting some reminders, working together to make this feel good with one another. Versus if you're like, hey, I have this family event over the weekend. This is like a 2 out of 10 in priorities for me. I don't really want to go, so I'm flexible around how this happens. Why this is helpful is because it gives us context for how much mental energy we need to put into something. Because if I know that it's a 2 out of 10 that I'm going to see your family and doing this event, I might cancel last minute, and maybe that would be okay. Or maybe we only show up for an hour and then we leave, but it allows us to game plan together. Whereas if I know that your friendship thing is 10 out of 10 super important, I'm gonna put the mental energy to be there, to be present, and we're gonna game plan as to how to make that accessible for both of us. But if I think that everything is a 10 out of 10 important level for you, and I'm putting all my mental energy into that, I'll be exhausted and potentially even burn out. Or I might think everything is a 2 out of 10 importance for you, and so I'm late to things, or I'm wanting to leave early because I don't understand how important it is to you that I'm there. And for my ADHDers that are watching this, that level, that 1 to 10 scale, I like to think of anything above a level 5 is something that I need to set external reminders or support for. So setting calendars, setting reminders on my phone, having a set time to mentally decompress before it, and anything below a 5, we talk about alternatives and how to make this more accessible for us. So that could be only going for an hour, that could be taking breaks, that could be showing up late, having some alternatives so that you have kind of like a get out of jail free card if something goes awry. All right, you have made it through these 3 quick tips. Now let me just say, it is incredible that you're here and you're trying to learn. This means so much to your partner because we have gone potentially our entire lives feeling completely misunderstood. And one of the things that feels best to us is effort. Is seeing you make a tangible effort to understanding us. So give yourself a huge pat on the back and a hug and really feel good about this because not everyone does this. And if you're the ADHDer watching this and going, oh my gosh, I want to send this to my partner, but I'm really nervous to send this to them, do it. See how they react. Use this as a way for you to kind of gauge how willing or interested your partner is in learning about you. And you don't have to use this video. Maybe you watch this for yourself and take notes and say, can we sit down and talk about these couple of quick tips? That is also totally an option. Now, if you're new to my channel, this is something I say at the end of every single video. And if you've been here before, let me say it to you again. I am so proud of you for putting in the work to yourself because no one else is going to do it for you. So it's pretty fucking cool you're doing it for yourself. I love you so much. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you in next week's video.